Hey Patrick, did you get the email I forwarded you last week?
I'm not sure. What was it about? Could you refresh my memory?
The message saying that our Springtime Examiner subscription expires at the end of the month?
You're not seriously considering renewing it, are you?
I'm definitely renewing it. What I want to know is if you're going to chip in.
Oh, come on, Winston. Get with the times. Pretty much everyone in our generation gets their news online.
Can't call that news. What people read online is fluff. It's like pure sugar that rots your brain, with a few facts thrown in to make you think you're staying abreast of the news. Plus, the internet plays it fast and loose with the facts.
Ah,
What?
the little software company I invested in last week. It's on the upswing. I get notifications about stocks on my phone.
See? Case in point. You can't even follow our conversation because you're distracted by your notifications. It's another thing that bugs me. Everything is so instantaneous. Do you have to know what's happening with your stocks at this very moment? Why can't it wait until tomorrow?
Because I don't want to wait until tomorrow. Why should I? That's one of the perks of living in the 21st century. Something can happen on the other side of the world, and the news reaches me in a flash.
Yeah, you learn the bare essentials, but the coverage leaves a lot to be desired. They take one or two points and talk about them to death. So you might find out that there was an earthquake in California, or a volatile situation in the Middle East, but...
You're saying that's not important? What if your brother was in California when the earthquake hit? You'd want to know he was safe as soon as you could.
Well, sure. That's what technology should be used for, spreading the word in emergencies. But when it comes to a complex, serious issue, a few sound bites or a simple notification just won't cut it. Not everything can be boiled down to a few bullet points to browse on your phone.
But it doesn't hurt to have the bullet points.
Yes, it absolutely does hurt. If you dumb things down for quick consumption, people are going to get used to it. They're going to start thinking a political campaign or a pressing social issue can be squeezed into the amount of space it takes to read the weather forecast. People already have a much shorter attention span, and our critical thinking skills are going downhill too.
You may have a point, but you're swimming against the current. People aren't going to go back to reading the papers if they can stay informed with less effort. Things change. Newspapers were once the height of progress, and now they're becoming antiquated.
Well, I'm still going to renew my Springtime Examiner.
I figured you would, but you're on your own for the subscription fee.
Winston asks if Patrick got the email he forwarded. The verb forward refers to receiving an email from someone else and resending it, sending it again to a new person. Patrick isn't sure if he got the email, and he asks Winston to refresh his memory. To refresh someone's memory means to remind that person of something they knew before, but they might have forgotten. The message was about a subscription to a newspaper that expires at the end of the month. If something expires, that means it comes to an end, and it isn't valid anymore. Patrick asks, "You're not seriously considering renewing it, are you?" To renew a subscription means to pay for it again and keep it active for another period of time in the future. Winston says he's definitely renewing it, and he wants to know if Patrick would chip in. The phrasal verb chip in means contribute money to a shared expense. Patrick tells Winston to get with the times. Get with the times means update or modernize yourself. Patrick says that everyone nowadays gets their news online. But Winston claims that what people read online is just fluff. The word fluff is a slang word referring to content that isn't meaningful. It just exists to fill up space. Winston says it's like pure sugar that rots your brain. Rot means to make something decay or decompose. According to Winston, there are just a few facts thrown in to make you think you're staying abreast of the news. Staying abreast of means staying updated, accompanying the latest information. Plus, Winston says, the internet plays fast and loose with the facts. This means the internet does not carefully check or prove the facts. Patrick is distracted by a notification on his phone that tells him a company he invested in is on the upswing. On the upswing means on a trend of increase or improvement. Patrick gets notifications about stocks on his phone. Stocks are elements of the stock market, which reflects the state of the economy. Winston says, "See? Case in point." Case in point means this is a good example of what I was just talking about. The fact that everything is so instantaneous bugs Winston. If something bugs you, it annoys or bothers you. Patrick claims that instant notifications are one of the perks of living in the 21st century. The word perks means benefits. Patrick likes the fact that news can reach him in a flash. In a flash means very quickly or instantly. Winston then says, you learn the bare essentials, but the coverage leaves a lot to be desired. The bare essentials are the basic facts or the basic fundamentals. And the expression, leaves a lot to be desired, means it's not as good as it should be. Winston says they take 1 or 2 points and talk about them to death. This phrase, talk about them to death, means talk about them excessively. One example is if there is a volatile situation in the Middle East. Something that is volatile is unstable and may explode. Patrick interrupts Winston and asks how Winston would feel if there was an emergency. Winston admits that that's what technology should be for, spreading the word in emergencies. To spread the word means to share information with many people. But when it comes to a complex, serious issue, says Winston, a few sound bites or a simple notification just won't cut it. This phrase, when it comes to, is an informal way to say regarding. Winston mentions sound bites. A sound bite is a very short audio or video clip. He says sound bites and notifications won't cut it. Won't cut it means they won't be sufficient. According to Winston, not everything can be boiled down to a few bullet points to browse on your phone. Boiled down means summarized or reduced to the essentials. And the verb browse means to look at casually. Winston doesn't like when things get dumbed down for quick consumption. To dumb things down means to make things overly simple. Winston says that a pressing social issue can't be squeezed into a small amount of space. The adjective pressing means urgent, needing immediate attention. And the verb squeezed means compressed into a small space. He says that people already have a much shorter attention span. Your attention span is the amount of time you're able to focus on something. And now our critical thinking skills are going downhill too. Going downhill means becoming worse. Patrick thinks Winston is swimming against the current. Swimming against the current, or swimming against the tide, means going against the majority of people. Patrick thinks that newspapers are becoming antiquated. Antiquated means old-fashioned, no longer relevant. Winston insists on renewing his newspaper subscription, but Patrick says you're on your own for the subscription fee. You're on your own means you're responsible. You won't have my help. That's all the vocabulary from today's conversation. Go ahead and try the quiz to put these expressions into practice, and the speaking task to get some feedback on your spoken English.